So, one of the most powerful aspects of analytics is that it replaces gut feeling with insight. Instead of guessing, what might work,
Yeah.
businesses today ask, what does the data tell us? This shift from intuition to information is what gives analytics its strategic edge. So many people assume you need to be a coder or a math expert to enter the world of analytics, but that's actually not the case. To get started, you really need these three key things. Number one, a basic understanding of statistics and logistic reasoning is first of all the rise of AI powered analytics. So we are witnessing a
Okay.
shift from traditional descriptive reports to AI driven real time insights.
Welcome to Vibrant Publishers podcast. Our guest for today is Riyanka Jain, who is an assistant professor at Ramlal Anand College, University of Delhi. With over a decade of experience in subjects like statistics, marketing, and business analytics, she's a passionate educator and researcher known for blending academic rigor with real world insights. Her published works aim to simplify complex concepts for students and professionals alike. Welcome to the podcast, Riyanka.
Thank you so much.
Our topic for today is business analytics. And first of all, I wanted to know if you could share with the audience what inspired you to write the book on business analytics and who is it meant for?
Okay. So the inspiration for business analytics essentials came from years of teaching business analytics and statistics, basically to diverse learners, especially students who felt overwhelmed by the subject. When you hear the subject statistics, it's pretty overwhelming. So over time, I noticed a recurring pattern. Learners wanted to understand analytics, but many existing resources were either too technical, software heavy, or disconnected from real business applications. So in my classroom, I often saw bright students, some from marketing, HR, or general management backgrounds, struggling not because of lack of capability, but because analytics was usually presented in a way that felt inaccessible. So that's when I knew there was a
Okay.
need for a book that could bridge this gap. And this book is designated to be beginner friendly yet practical. And it's meant for undergraduate and MBA students who want to build a strong foundation in business analytics, working professionals and managers who need to apply data driven thinking in their roles without actually diving into complex programming, and faculty members and educators who want a structured resource with real world cases, discussion questions, and chapter end assessments. So, even aspiring entrepreneurs and business leaders who want to use data more effectively for strategic decisions can use this book.
Okay. Got it. Sounds very interesting. So, what exactly is business analytics? If you could explain in simple terms.
So, sure, at its core, business analytics is the systematic process of analyzing data to gain insights and make well informed decisions. It's not just about numbers, it's about using data to answer key business questions, like spot trends, optimize performance, and guide strategy. So, whether it's improving customer satisfaction, reducing costs, or forecasting demand, business analytics empowers smarter, evidence based decisions. So, one of the most powerful aspects of analytics is that it replaces gut feeling with insight. Instead of guessing, what might work,
Yeah.
businesses today ask, what does the data tell us? This shift from intuition to information is what gives analytics its strategic edge. So now people often ask me, how is analytics different from data science or business intelligence? So in a simple
Right.
way, we can understand it that business analytics is a decision oriented field. It focuses on three key steps: descriptives, that is what happened; predictive,
Hmm.
what could happen; and prescriptive, what should we do about it. Whereas, data science is broader and more technical, and it involves algorithms, big data processing, and often requires coding skills in Python or R. So while these fields overlap, the key distinction is business analytics sits at the intersection of business thinking and data interpretation. So you don't need to be a coder, but you do need to be a curious, logical, and comfortable using tools with Excel or SPSS to draw insights from data. So
And
this skill set
be
is vital, yes.
right, and be really good at maths.
So maths is, of course, not really good, but yes, an idea about maths or basic maths, what we've all done in our school level, is important.
Okay, got it. To make it even easier to understand, if you could give some real life business problems that business analytics can help solve.
Yeah, sure. So, business analytics becomes truly exciting because it's not just academic, it's highly practical and already transforming how industries operate. So, for example, we can take an example of market customer segmentation. So, analytics helps businesses like Amazon and Starbucks segment customers based on their purchasing behavior, demographics, or online interactions. So, by doing so, they run personalized marketing campaigns, improving targeting, increasing conversion rates, while also reducing the advertising costs. Another example, we can say of say healthcare optimization. So a lot of institutions apply prescriptive analytics to suggest customized treatment plans by analyzing patient histories and outcomes. So this not only improves patient care but also reduces the healthcare costs. So there are numerous examples in the field of finance, HR, talent management, public sector, policy planning, wherein analytics can be applied, and even governance. So if there's
Hmm.
data, there's an opportunity to solve a real business challenge through analytics.
Okay. Okay, and I believe the book also has some really good real life examples.
Yes, the book covers a lot of examples, a lot of case studies, and from all the respective fields that helps us in demystify business analytics and relate it to real world.
Okay, got it. Now, if I want to get into this career, what skills or knowledge do I need to get started with business analytics?
So that's a great question, the one I am often asked, So many people assume you need to be a coder or a math expert to enter the world of analytics, but that's actually not the case. To get started, you really need these three key things. Number one, a basic understanding of statistics and logistic reasoning. So you should be familiar with simple concepts like averages, percentages, correlations, and trends. As I emphasize in the book, it's not about solving complex questions, it's about thinking logically with data. For example, understanding what a trend line represents or what standard deviation tells you about business performance is more than enough at the beginning. Number two, it's hands-on comfort with beginner, friendly tools like Excel or SPSS. In
Hmm.
chapter 4, like I've shown how Excel remains one of the most versatile and widely used tools in analytics, from pivot tables to dashboards. SPS is also very beginner friendly and great for statistical analysis without coding. You don't need to start with Python or R. You can build a strong foundation with these tools first. Number three, most importantly, you need to have a problem solving mindset. So, analytics
Hmm.
is less about technical ability and more about asking the right questions. It's about being curious, spotting patterns, and making better decisions using evidence. So, whether you're trying to improve a marketing campaign or reduce inventory waste, it's the mindset that drives good analysis, not just the math. So, my advice is start with curiosity, build your statistical literacy step by step, and practice on real world data sets, using approachable tools that are mentioned in the book. So, this book really helps in, demystifying all these things.
Right. And also, critical thinking is a really important aspect. So,
Yes.
you've emphasized critical thinking in your teaching. So, how does business analytics help develop that skill?
So, when we talk about critical thinking, so absolutely, like in fact, one of the most transformative outcomes of learning business analytics is the development of
Hmm.
critical thinking. Analytics isn't just about formulas or tools, It's about cultivating a way of thinking, questioning assumptions, exploring
Hmm.
alternatives, and drawing conclusions based on evidence. So let's take a simple example. Imagine a company notices a drop in sales that happens with every other brand or a company. So
Yeah.
surface level guess might be that the marketing campaign failed, but a data literate, a critical thinker would ask deeper questions. Is this dip region specific? Did competitors launch discounts? Is there a seasonal trend or supply chain delay? So, this ability to go beyond first impressions, examine patterns, evaluate multiple possibilities is actually the heart of critical thinking. And it's exactly what analytics teaches. So, in Business Analytics
Right.
Essentials, we've emphasized structured problem solving as a core skill. Define the problem clearly, identify the right data sources, apply appropriate tools, interpret the results thoroughly. So, this structured approach helps learners shift from intuition based to evidence based thinking and decision making, not just in businesses but in policy, education, and leadership roles too. So, whether you're analyzing customer behavior or evaluating business performance, analytics trains you to connect the dots, question narratives, and arrive at a sound strategic conclusion. And that's what critical thinking is all about.
Yeah, right. And it's not just about using the tools, it's also using your mind and, think critically to get to the
Yes.
outcomes. So, yeah, that's an important skill to develop, definitely. Now, previously you mentioned there are other fields like data science. A lot of overlap is there with business analytics. So one of the things is also data visualization.
Yeah.
Do you cover that in your book, and what role does it play in business analytics?
Sure. So, data visualization plays a central role in business analytics because even the most sophisticated analysis can lose impact if it is not communicated clearly. So, in today's
Okay.
fast paced business world, decision makers, whether it's a CEO, whether it's a client or a
Hmm.
project lead, they don't just want data, they need to see the story the data is telling. So, a well
Hmm.
crafted chart or a dashboard that can highlight these trends, the problems that are there, the relationships are far more effective than any, or columns of numbers.
Yeah.
So, for instance, dashboards with pivot charts can quickly show regional sale performances or customer churn patterns at a glance, something that would take pages of data tables to communicate otherwise. So in the book, I've dedicated a full section that is in chapter 4, 4.3, to the tools,
Hmm.
techniques, and principles of effective data visualization. So it covers
Hmm.
how to use tools like Excel, Power BI, and Tableau for creating visuals such as graphs, bar charts, pie charts, heat maps, real world examples that show how visualization drives business decisions, guidance on when to use what type of chart. For instance, choosing a heat map for dense data patterns or a pie chart for promotional comparisons. So I've also included sample data sets and exercises so readers can practice building visuals, interpret results, and get used to presenting insights just like they would do in a real job or consulting scenario. So yes, data visualization is not just a nice to have anymore. It's an essential communication skill that bridges the gap between analysis and action. And that's why I've made sure it's a strong part of the book's practical toolkit.
Got it. Got it. Sounds great. Now, my next question is something that a lot of students might relate to. Uh, Many people do feel intimidated by maths or statistics. So, how have you made that approachable in your book?
Yes, so that's a common concern again, and I completely relate to it. I've seen it in my classroom over the years. The moment students hear statistics, there's often this hesitation or anxiety. But the truth is, when it's taught in a logical, step by step way, statistics becomes not just understandable but empowering too. So, in Business
Hmm.
Analytics Essentials, I've made it a priority to demystify statistics. Instead of starting with heavy formula, I begin by asking, what are we trying to solve? Why does this matter in a business context? You know, once
Okay.
learners understand the real world logic behind a concept, say measuring variability or identifying correlations, the numbers start to make intuitive sense. So, to make it more accessible, I've included practical examples like interpreting customer satisfaction scores, understanding marketing ROI, or analyzing sales patterns. There are analogies and visuals. For instance, I explain correlation using relatable comparisons like ice cream sales and summer heat before diving into the math. Interactive exercises with tools like Excel, so learners can see the concepts in action and not just memorizing them. So my approach is to keep the tone light but purposeful, always linking every statistical tool to a real business decision it can support. So the goal isn't to turn readers into statisticians, it is to help them become confident decision makers who can think with data. And
Right. Now, if you could share one of your favorite case studies or example from the book.
so certainly, one of my favorite examples from the book is from chapter 5, where we explore descriptive analytics using retail sales data. So something that's
Okay.
both practical and relatable for beginners. So, to simplify it, we take the case of a retail company, we analyze its past quarterly sales, data across regions and product categories. And the business wanted to understand which product categories perform best in different seasons. Are there regional variations in consumer demand? So, using tools
Hmm.
like Excel, pivot tables, bar charts, we begin with data aggregation to summarize total sales by quarter and region. Then, using
Hmm.
frequency distributions and histograms, we identify peak sales month and see clear
Hmm.
patterns. So, the higher sales of winter wear in the northern region during the fourth quarter is actually what we are looking at. So, next we apply time series analysis to examine month wise performance. This helps uncover consistent trends and outliers, such as sudden spike in sales in a particular region, which correlated with a local festival promotion. So, what's great is that students and professionals can replicate this case using the same tools, Excel primarily, with sample data sets provided in the book. The steps are broken down clearly so readers can follow along and perform the analysis themselves. And the takeaway from this example is powerful, even without predictive models or coding. Descriptive analytics alone can reveal actionable business insights that improve inventory planning, seasonal marketing, and regional targeting. So, this case, like many others in the book, is designed to build not just technical skill but analytical thinking. That's the heart of business analytics.
Got it. Thank you for sharing that example. Now, let's talk about some common mistakes that beginners might make in business analytics. If you could discuss about that.
Again, it's a very important question because while enthusiasm for analytics is growing, many beginners stumble at
Hmm.
some key points, that limit their
Hmm.
ability to generate meaningful insights. In Business Analytics Essentials, I've addressed these points early in the book because understanding what not to do is just as important as learning the tools and techniques. So, three most
Hmm.
common mistakes, according to me, are jumping to tools before understanding the business problem. One of the most frequent errors I've seen in both classrooms and real world projects is diving straight into Excel, straight into
Hmm.
SPSS or Power BI, without first defining the problem clearly. In the book, I stress the importance of structured problem solving, starting with
Hmm.
understanding the decision context, formulating the right question, and then choosing the appropriate tool or method. So, analytics is not about using a fancy dashboard, it's about solving the right business problem. Next would be confusing correlation with causation. That's something that I have,
Yeah.
seen over the years with my students also. It's another classic pitfall. Beginners often assume that just because two variables move together, one must be causing the other. For example, in chapter 5, we've explained the descriptive techniques like correlation, but also remind readers that correlation does not imply causation. I've used, various examples and real world cases like the classic ice cream sales and drowning correlation to teach students and other professionals to critically evaluate whether a relationship is meaningful or purely coincidental. Thirdly, ignoring data quality and
Hmm.
business context. So, no matter how advanced your analysis, if your data is of poor quality, it will lead to poor decisions. So, many beginners
Hmm.
underestimate the time and importance of data cleaning, validation, and contextual
Okay.
understanding. So, chapters 2 and 3 in the book walk readers through data sources, integrity dimensions like accuracy, timeliness, common pitfalls like missing values and outliers. So, analytics doesn't begin with a graph, it begins with trustworthy, relevant data that reflects the reality of the business environment. So, through Business Analytics
Okay.
Essentials, I've embedded reminders, caselets, and discussion questions to help readers avoid these traps. Because ultimately, good analytics isn't just about tools, it's about thoughtful, evidence based thinking.
Got it. So to summarize, we've got correlation does not equal to causation. Don't jump to tools before building your base. Then the
Yes.
third one would be
The third one was that ignoring data cleaning and validation.
okay.
So, poor
Okay.
quality data is of no use in business analytics.
Got it. Got it. Some strong, solid points. Now
Yeah.
let's talk about the future of business analytics. An interesting topic. Since this field is quite new, I would say. So, what do you think is the future trends that you see in this field?
So this future is both exciting and inclusive. As I mentioned in the concluding sections of Business Analytics Essentials, the book, that
Hmm.
analytics is evolving rapidly, but it's also
Yeah.
becoming more accessible for learners at all levels. So is first of all the rise of AI powered analytics. So we are witnessing a
Okay.
shift from traditional descriptive reports to AI driven real time insights. So tools like Power BI with embedded machine learning or platforms like Google Analytics, 4
Hmm.
are helping users not just report on what's happening, but why it's happening and what to do next. So even with Excel, these simpler tools, SPSS, predictive capabilities are becoming more user friendly, allowing even non coders to apply forecasting, clustering, or recommendation models. The second would be demand for data literate professionals is skyrocketing. So across
Okay.
industries, from retail and finance to education and healthcare, there's a rising expectation that professionals can work with data,
Hmm.
interpret it, and contribute to data driven decisions. So, as I emphasized throughout the book, this doesn't mean everyone has to become a data scientist, but the
Okay.
ability to ask smart questions, understand
Hmm.
these trends, and use tools like dashboards, pivot tables is fast becoming a baseline expectation in most roles. Next, the last one is the growing importance of storytelling and communication. So, as analytics is becoming more and more advanced, the skill of translating numbers into narratives is, what truly sets professionals apart. It's not
Right.
enough to know what the data says. You must be able to communicate it in a way that influences decisions. So that's why in the book, especially, in the sections of data visualizations, presentations, I stress that good analytics are all about good storytellers. They connect data to strategy and insights into action. So, in short, the future of business analytics will be shaped by AI, accessibility, and articulation. And for beginners, the opportunity is huge because we are entering a world where data fluency is no longer, niche. It's
Yeah.
essential. And this book is your launchpad into that future.
Right, sounds exciting. And while we're talking about AI, I wanted to know: do you encourage you to your students? Do you encourage your students to make use of Chat GPT? What are your thoughts on using it for business analytics?
I would say that yes, why not? Because I myself have attended a lot of workshops into how to use ChatGPT to your advantage. So it's all about
Okay.
the right prompt engineering. You need to have a basic idea about business analytics, the basics of math and stats that we've spoken about it earlier, and give the right prompt to ChatGPT, and then it will definitely help you in analyzing. So analysis becomes more structured, and you definitely get a lot of idea using ChatGPT. And students should definitely use it to their advantage. Why students? I would say that everybody nowadays is using ChatGPT. So it's all about
Yeah.
the right
Right.
use of it, not blindly
Right.
using it. Using it to your advantage, but actually the correct usage. You know, you can't just blindly
Right.
copy and paste. So
Right.
yes, if there
And
is
this is
a tool
where,
like yes,
yeah, this is where critical thinking plays a huge role.
yeah, yeah, this is where critical thinking plays a huge role. You need to critically think about how can you use this advantage, this particular available tool, and
Right.
make your work even better, differentiate you from your competitor, whether it's a brand or from a fellow classmate, for a student or a
Right.
professional. Yeah.
Got it. Now, my last question to you is, what advice would you like to give to a student or a working professional that's starting their analytics journey today?
So, I would say that my biggest piece of advice is start simple, stay
Okay.
curious, and be consistent. So, you don't need to know Python or machine learning from day one. Yes, that is important. But what you do need is a problem solving mindset and the willingness to explore data with a purpose. So many learners get stuck thinking analytics is all about complex math, coding, But as I've explained it through the book, analytics starts with questions like why is this metric dropping? Which segment is performing better? What
Hmm.
trends are we missing? So simple tools also like like Microsoft Excel are there to support your thinking, not replace it. So
Yeah.
also be patient with yourself. Like learning a new language, analytics builds over time. The more you practice with real data sets, reflect on your interpretations, and seek feedback, the sharper your skills will become. So, most importantly, don't fear mistakes. That's where the learning, lives. So, finally, remember analytics is not just for analysts, it's a lens to make better decisions. Whether you are a marketer, manager, founder, freelancer, student, however, lean in, learn, stay curious, and let data become your everyday, friend. So that's all I would like to say and conclude.
Got it. Well, thank you so much, Ranka, for sharing your insights in the world of business analytics. We're all excited. The links of the book are in the description below, so the audience can check out the links, and we'll also be putting Priyanka's social media links in the description. Once again, thank you so much, Priyanka, for joining us for
Thank you
this
so
podcast.
much. Thank you, Nakul. Thank you.